Welcome to our second episode ever. My name is Jenny, your host, and today I have not one, but two very special guests. We have here today Carl, a golf pro, debate champ, and most importantly, editor of the yearbook. And we also have here another editor of yearbook, Kaiwen, Chinese Student Association vice president and car enthusiast. You see them at every event, name any event, and they're probably out there taking pictures for yearbook and highlighting every student's best moments. But what do we know about the people behind the cameras? So tell us, Carl and Kaiwen, who are you when you aren't locked in and clocked in into your yearbook duties? Like, what are you working on besides yearbook as of right now?
Well, right now I'm trying to get, because I'm speech captain this year. I joined last year by accident, because last year Aubrey, who was speech captain then, told me to join, and so I did. And so now I'm trying to get the team together and figure out how to like run a club, and more importantly how to ask funds from the district, because they were really intense about it. They said that if I did it wrong, I would it'd be like embezzlement or something, and so I couldn't do it. Like, I had to go through this whole process, and if I did it wrong, they'd be really mad at me. So yeah, outside of that and like just AP classes, it's me trying to figure out how to like run a speech team pretty much.
Okay. Do you have like a role in speech and debate, like a officer position?
Yeah, I'm speech captain.
Okay.
That basically means I just show up and I tell people how to speak. So it's like, don't talk about this. This is really bad, because people don't like that. And that's pretty much all I do every Tuesday. Also, if you're interested in speech and debate, please show up on Tuesdays in Mr. Kiergaard's room. It's somewhere in the HH building. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, please join.
Yes, please join. It sounds really fun. And it also sounds like a good way to work on, I guess, like improv, right?
Yeah, if you join speech, it's a lot more improv, because it's really low key. You show up to tournaments and there's like 3 rounds, and each round is you're given this thing and you talk about it for 5 minutes, and then you have like 3-hour break doing whatever you want, and then you do the same thing, and then you leave at like 7.
And you also get to dress in nice fancy suits and talk.
I mean, yeah, but
that's
like,
pretty cool.
Like what a lot of people don't know is that it starts pretty early in the year, so it's really hot, and there's no AC because it's like on the weekend, so they don't bother turning on the AC in the classrooms and stuff.
Where do you guys usually do it?
Like, we go to random schools. I think we went to the wrong school the first time. Yeah, we went to we were supposed to go to Wood Creek, but we ended up going to Mariloma. And then last year they didn't tell us that they changed the venue last minute, and so they were like, I was like, hey, where is everyone? And they were like, oh yeah, sorry, it's actually 40 minutes in the other direction. My bad. And so we showed up a little late.
So dumb. It's a waste of time. It's not our fault. It's just the guy didn't tell us anything. He just doesn't update us.
And what about you, Kaiwen? You're also in speech and debate.
Yeah, I'm also in speech and debate, and off of what he says, speech is pretty fun, I'd say, on the beginning. Well, kind of always. Throughout the day, you get pretty tired, I guess. But since we have tournaments at different places, since our first tournament was at UOP, I actually had a lot of fun. Just what's it called? Our judge, right, was a friend of mine who's going to college, and he already knew someone at UOP. So then we just hung out with his friends during the breaks in between. And then the tournaments for other high schools were located at high schools. We would go to Wood Creek, things like that. Just high schools around us usually wouldn't be able to go visit. It's pretty nice to see how other schools are doing, how their districts are making, well, not their districts, I guess, but how their campus are organized and stuff, things like that.
Do you guys have any other things you guys are working on besides speech and debate as of right now? Like any other clubs? Like, is there any like classes you guys are taking that are pretty interesting right now?
I'm gonna be honest with you, there probably is, but I just don't know that I'm doing it until they tell me 5 minutes before. I usually don't prep for stuff, and so it's pretty disorganized, but I probably do have something else going on, so I just don't know what it is right now.
Yeah, it's honestly same for me. I kind of just go to things whenever people tell me to. Like, I was supposed to go to Muko earlier, and then to get pizza.
Okay.
Oh, no, like I know I have things
today,
going on.
right?
Yeah, today. So,
like,
well,
I know.
Yeah.
You could have someone deliver pizza right now, and then we could have like a mukbang, little ASMR.
McDonald's is doing a deal right now. Like, it's 50 cents on all their burgers.
Oh.
So it's like,
Oh,
Hey, man.
and
You're gonna upload a bonus episode.
A bonus mukbang
Yeah.
episode.
Mukbang
and there's like a Starbucks sale right now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Say, man. ASP points.
ASB
ASB
$5. That could get us like I can't do that.
At 400.
Like 10. That could get us 10 cheeseburgers.
Well,
right
with $5 and the McDonald's app, you could honestly get like a full meal with their
now. I
coupons.
could. Oh, that's fine. It's gonna take too long. I can't wait. It's called fast food for a reason.
Man's a bit poor. Need money for Porsche, bro.
Yeah, I am pretty poor, man. You should know this by now.
So, aside from speech and debate and possible mukbangs, obviously yearbook plays a large role in your life. I mean, you guys are at pretty much every event and staying out very late to capture every single detail of the school year. What has been the most rewarding thing about being in yearbook?
For me, I think it's really just be able to, enjoy or be more involved in school a lot more than I would if I wasn't in yearbook. Because a lot of events I honestly would not go to because I'm just not like that. But if I'm taking photos, I go out, I do the extra mile. I just talk to people, make people laugh, have fun. What kind of sucks sometimes though is events such as football, since sometimes I'll leave right after school and be there for the entire time.
Yeah.
And that goes without having any meals throughout the day. So then I go home at 10 starving.
I mean, yeah, it's like it does make you a little more involved in school, but I don't really care about that. I just seen my work on the yearbook because I know for a fact that like 90% of people don't even read it. They just look at their photo and then they call it a day. They just leave it in their room. But I just like seeing that like the photo I took is on like 100 and like hundreds of books that like people have. I think that's pretty cool knowing, and it's like really nice photos that I'm proud of. So it's like, oh, that's pretty cool, and that's what I'm most proud of.
Yeah,
With the
'cause
yearbook.
Carl and I think we take the most photos in the yearbook because we take photos in our free time, so we're more used to the camera, and so then Maxwell comes to us a lot to like ask us if we can go take photos while other people who are new can train with the camera while we actually take photos. So while their photos can be used, our photos, there's like a safe, if anything happens to their cameras or anything like that. It's just safer. And then Carl and I, we actually like to compete how much photos we take at events, things like that. Last year's book, I had the most photos, I'm pretty sure.
I think you did.
Yeah.
What's like, oh, sorry, but like, what's like the average amount of pictures you guys can take in a eventful day?
Per event, we go upwards of 1,000, I say.
1,000?
Yeah.
It depends. For
Depends.
football, you definitely take more than like somewhere you average more like 2,000
Yeah.
for football because you not only have to cover football, you got to cover cheer, band, you got to cover the crowd, and then when it gets to like 7 or 8, when the sun starts to set, that's when you get all of your photos, all your good photos. And then so it's like you get more like, instead of, it's not like covering one event, it's covering 4. So you
Mhm.
get more like 2,000, 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take you to like filter and go through all that?
Oh my God. It takes hours. It takes
Hours.
literal hours. And it's just you sitting there and then you're just looking at all the photos. And then sometimes you'll be looking at 2 photos that are exactly the same. And you're going to be trying to figure out which one you should put because one person's blinking and then, or maybe one person is like little off to the left and like their hand sticking out or whatever. So you got to figure it out because you know that if you use that photo, one of them's gonna come up to you and they're gonna ask, why did you pick this photo? It makes me look so ugly. Like, do you think I pick photos that because they're ugly? I spent hours looking through these.
Like, dude, I'm sorry, but issue with the yearbook, don't come to me. It's not my fault. Like, don't come to any of us.
Viewers, you heard that. Don't
Like,
come to
We're
Kaiwen and
trying our
Carl.
best, man. Like, we don't pick ugly photos. We're trying to compete with like the thousands of other schools across the country. And we're not gonna pick ugly photos and shoot ourselves in the foot. Okay, if we put it in the yearbook, it's probably because it's a pretty good photo, and you just think that it's ugly because you're in it. Like, okay, isn't that something like everyone does? Like, if I look a photo at myself, I think it's the ugliest thing known to man, just because I'm in it.
Yeah.
And I don't like my face. I don't know if other people have that issue.
People just don't like looking at themselves. But I think the thing people don't really understand is that our yearbook is actually like really competitive, and we do it really well compared to like other schools. Like they don't do any competitive yearbooks. You know, people who actually tell me their yearbook kind of are lame compared to ours. And ours, we compete in yearbook tournaments like globally with the schools all around the world.
Like we just send our book into
Yeah.
this association, and then they grade it.
Oh, okay.
Our critique actually came back today from our last year's yearbook. It was 466 out of 500, which is really well. And we had two, like, what was it?
I don't know, man. I wasn't listening.
It was like this thing, something like that. It's just really important, good stuff. Yeah.
So overall, like Franklin Yearbook is among one of the best in
the nation.
Yeah.
the nation.
I think
oh, wow.
3 years ago, the book that we did during COVID, it won a national award, and usually you get to go to like Columbia and you get to like receive the award, and it's like very I don't know what
Formal.
the word is, very formal, and it's like very posh or whatever. But because it was COVID, they didn't get to do it. But it's like it was one of the best, like top 0.1%.
Yeah.
in the like in terms of design and just like overall like a good yearbook. I actually have that book at home. I wasn't here for that year, but I still have it at home. I took one from the classroom.
So about like filtering through thousands of pictures to find that one, I guess, like perfect shot, would you say that through all that work and hours you're going through, it's overall a pleasant experience, getting to see your hard work? And what do you think?
I'd say so, because then sometimes it's like, oh, I love this photo, and then I show it to Carl, and it's like he has the same photo but worse, so it just makes me feel better as a person in
So
general.
you guys have like competition?
Yeah,
with each
pretty
other?
much. It's like who gets the same shot but like better. Like actually gets to use in the book.
For me, it's a real hit or miss, because photography isn't something that you just wake up and you're good at. It's like you start off like maybe bad, or you start off like doing really well, and then you hit this plateau for like a couple of months, and you just think that all of your photos are like man, they're almost there, but they're still pretty bad. And then you just like start seeing all this progress, and you're like, wow, my photos are really good, and it just plateaus again. And so it's like all of sophomore year was like, why are all my photos so bad? And I was like, Jesus Christ, these are horrible photos. And then like I started this year, and then I don't know what happened. They just all started looking a lot better. Like over the summer when I took photos, infinitely better. Like I was like, oh wow, this looks like something that someone would actually like put up on their wall if they were like into photography. So it's like sometimes it's like, oh yeah, that's like amazing photos, and sometimes I have better photos than Kai, and it makes me feel so much better about myself. But but then other times it's like, why am I even doing photography? It's like, why am I even doing this? Like for 4 photos,
You don't need to, yeah.
I sat there on the sidelines for like 5 hours, all for 4 photos that are half decent.
Yeah, because we take like thousands of photos, and we make best of photos, but even if you take 1,000 photos, like only 20 best ofs we actually put into the book, or even consider putting in the book. Yeah.
Would you say like with photography, it involves like skill, also just the event you're at, like maybe some events just visually look a little better to take pictures than others, and also like I guess the vibe, I don't know.
You're definitely like, it definitely depends on the event. If the event is, there are certain events that are easier to photograph than others. Like it's a lot easier to photograph like a tailgate than it is like a math class. But when you've been taking photos for like a decent amount of time, it gets to the point where it doesn't really matter, because you know how to like work the camera, and you know what kind of story you want to tell because you've been doing it for a while. And so it doesn't really matter how difficult it is, because you still somehow get the shot that you want.
Well, I just want to go off on like the plateau you mentioned about how like sometimes you might feel like you take really good pictures for, some moments, and then all of a sudden you feel like your art is not hitting the same anymore, and then out of nowhere you're like, oh, now I feel like it's better. Like, what do you think that primarily stems from? Like skill, vibe?
Well, when I started, it was definitely because of skill. I definitely had because there's 2 parts to photography. There's just 2 parts. It's your composition, which is like how you frame the shot, like how low do you want to go, how do you want the shadows to show, how do you want like the subject to be in the frame. And then there's the technical part, which is just knowing your camera and like knowing what settings you have to use when it's nighttime or when it's like darker or when it's brighter, and you need to get those darker contrasts. So like when I started doing photography, it was a lot of just like technical stuff where it was like, oh, I didn't use like a fast enough like shutter speed, or I didn't use like the certain settings that I needed. But then like later on, it started to be like composition, because I didn't realize that because like shooting broad daylight, I shot a lot of my shots in like the middle of the day when the sun's directly above us. And the problem with shooting then is that it's so bright that all of your photos look bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't know that like I had to like move myself to a different spot so that I get the shadows to come across the right way and get a good shot. And so it's just a lot of like trial and error. So it's like you reach a plateau and you're like, okay, this is a problem that I have. And then it's just like taking thousands of photos to figure out how to fix it.
I think you said most of it. I feel you went on a long ass tangent. Anyways, but yeah, there's definitely events that are a lot easier to take photos of compared to others, such as golf. Golf is as simple as it is. It's the same pose over and over again. It's the same swings.
I mean,
What do you think, golf pro Carl?
I mean, it's really hard to get creative with golf.
I mean, yeah.
I remember I got really creative last year. We were at golf practice. I was actually there practicing, and Kai showed up. And like all of our shots looked the same. And so I just borrowed his camera, and I got a guy teeing off on the first hole. I sat down right in front of him. So it's like if he hit the ball low, it would have killed me. So it's like right in front of me, and I took the shot of him right there. And so it's this really nice shot. I think it's in the yearbook.
That was the only photo of yours in that page.
Yeah. But it's like getting low, and it's like sometimes you have to like risk it to get a good shot.
The rest of the photos are mine, by the way.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's definitely like that, because
I just think golf is not the most.
It is. It really isn't.
It's like meh. It's like you can't get bad shots, but you're not gonna get like amazing shots.
Yeah,
from golf.
Because a lot of our shots on like the golf spreads are the good ones are usually the interaction spreads between players. Like I had one of one player hugging a different player, and another shot where it's the normal basic shot of someone swinging their club, but there was a rainbow in the back that really contrasted the photo. And then there's really just more difficult events. Like I covered Hoko last weekend, and it was really dark in the dance room. So then the camera really wouldn't focus on anything. So I had to instead of actually taking photos, I had to opt to taking videos instead and taking stills out of that. And then what else? There is things like like he said, golf. He almost got hit by a ball. Me too, bro. I almost got hit by a ball many times and taking golf photos.
Yeah, even Isaac was not happy with me doing
even
that.
In
he almost sent me home. he almost sent me home for pulling that.
Even taking like volleyball photos, you never know when the ball is going to suddenly fly you in your camera, and you have to prioritize your camera over yourself because cameras are expensive, and for some reason we are running out of cameras inside of a yearbook.
Yeah, I am several thousands of dollars in debt because of
you specifically.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I have to ask my dad. I'm like, hey, could you I recently had to get one of my lenses fixed. It's been broken for a year. And so it's like I use my own personal lenses, and I don't know how it broke. I was photographing a wedding and it just broke in the middle of it. And so I don't know what happened. I sent it to Canon. I had my dad send it, and it cost my dad and I like $400 to fix it. And they were like, oh yeah, we just fixed this one tiny part and then we cleaned it. And then they sent it back to me. And it worked fine. I got to use it for homecoming. I got some amazing shots with it, but it was like, photography is really expensive. I don't know if like people understand like how expensive it's like for like a half decent camera. It's like $1,000. It's about $1,000 for a half decent camera, and that's not including like the lens. Like the lens is an extra $500. Yeah.
So yearbook is an expensive and also dangerous activity.
I don't know about dangerous.
It depends on what you do. I feel mainly.
Depends on how much you try and risk it. I remember one year I almost got hit by a football player on the side, on the sideline. Like they were running a play, and they were gonna run it up the left side of the field, like they were gonna run wide, and he ran a little too wide, and I got a little too close to the edge. This was like one year, and this was like one of my first times ever photographing football, and so it was like I was right there, And it wasn't until the last second that I was like, man, he's kind of getting really close. and then was in that split second that I realized, I was like, oh wait, he's about to hit me.
He's right there.
Yeah, and then I had to I had to move out of the way really quickly, and then I got hit by another guy on the sidelines because they were all really hyped and they all started running to the other side because he was about to end the end zone, and I got hit by him. So it didn't really matter. I still got hit.
Was the camera okay though?
Oh yeah, it was.
That's
fine.
all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Last the Hoko football game. It's kind of funny because every time I feel like every shot that is actually good always happens whenever we're looking away, we're taking a break real fast. And then I remember last Friday, I turned around real quick to talk to one of the Wildcat TV kids. And then I feel something brush between my legs. I look down, the football from the game came between my legs, and I was just really confused on what was happening.
That was really bad. The one touchdown they had that game.
Yeah.
We were all turned around because we were fixing something. And Mr. Match was definitely not going to be happy. He's not. But the one time that they made the touchdown, we were all by the track near the cheer team. And so we were there. And then we just hear everyone start losing it. It was crazy. And then we turn around and we see this guy just running down the other end field. And I was like, oh my God. And we all started sprinting to the sidelines. And none of us got a shot.
No one got it.
The guys from Wildcat TV, the people, they started asking me, they're like, hey, do you have any shots from the game of the touchdown? We wanted to cover it, but no one has anything. And we were like, oh, we didn't get it either.
Tragic.
So hopefully next game they'll make another touchdown.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And
we'll see.
We can record that. But I mean, I think at that game you probably got a lot of good pictures of the environment and the people cheering. I think our spirit section was looking pretty nice that day. So glass half full.
Glass half full. They were usually they're really, really just dry. They were actually really, really energetic this time. So it was really good getting shots. Yeah.
I forgot, but there was something I was gonna say about. Oh, yeah, about running to get the perfect shot. I would say you guys kind of remind me of the school's paparazzi in a way.
Oh yeah, that is definitely what we are. I'm not gonna say it any other way. We are definitely just paparazzi.
Yeah, and I don't know. Some people don't understand is we can't our photos will be candid, so people can't really look into the camera. And that's what they tend to do.
How do you feel if people throw up a peace sign?
We can't use it.
I think we might have changed that this year, but the last couple of years, you can't. If it's anything other than a high five or a wave, we can't use them. So peace signs, gang signs, we can't use
signs
any of that.
Any kinds can't be used because in any culture, in different cultures.
Thank God we haven't run into a photo of someone using sign language.
Oh,
that would have been horrible because then we'd have to try and figure out if we could or could not use it.
Here's a really funny thing. I feel with hands. I was making I was doing the art spread. That was my first spread in yearbook, and the main dominant photo I took was of a student who graduated last year. I don't know if you know her, but she was in the ceramics class making something. And when you're doing ceramics, right, they mainly use a few fingers at once. And she had her middle finger more extended out than the other ones. It didn't look like she was flipping anyone off. However, we have a what would you say, advisor for yearbook, Pete?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would look over our spreads and tell us, oh, you can work on this, or this thing can be changed, or what looks wrong here, right? And he had a big debate with, Maxwell, our actual advisor, and, and a few of our other editors. And it was over the fact that he thought, where he just kept going on about how to him it looked like she was flipping people off, even though everyone else that we asked, the other teachers, no one felt the same. And that was just a big thing, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I actually got a photo of someone flipping me off. He was real. I don't know. They were really mad at me. This was last year. And he was just, I don't know. He really did not like having his photo taken. He just took one look at me and he was so mad at me for just taking a photo. I'm like, hey man, I'm just doing my job. I'm just trying to do it.
I think it's really funny when people they see the camera and they start posing. They think they hood, but we live in Elk Grove. We come from white suburban neighborhoods where you ain't from the hood.
I can't tell you how many times I've taken a shot of someone and then they're like, hold on, clip this, like this, clip this, and then they'll do things where they stand with like really wide legs, and then they'll have their hands dropped down like in between their legs like that,
Yeah.
and then they'll lean back
Or
like a little
you know,
bit.
They'll pop
like,
4.
Yeah, or they'll pop up a 4, and like I don't know, like I don't have a problem with it, but like everyone does it. Like everyone collectively decided that this was like
Freshman.
not just freshmen. Like I was photographing homecoming parade. Like middle schoolers were doing that, and it was like everyone. Like this guy, he was in like khaki shorts and a polo. Like he was the very definite. Like he looked like a mannequin from Ralph Lauren, and and that's what he did. He held up like the gang sign. He held like 4, and then like there was another kid right next to him. He was wearing like a Walmart shirt and like neon green basketball shorts. And he held up blood. Like I was like, oh my God. I was like, you know what I was doing in middle school? I was like, like, I don't understand it. Like all of the middle schoolers, like I look at them and it's like a real problem. I can't tell that they're high schoolers or middle schoolers because they all dress like they're all like, they have like the Carhartt and they have like everything. Like, do you know what I wore in middle school? I wore blue jeans and the same hoodie every day for the entire year. Like they just completely bypass that awkward phase of like just wearing the same thing or wearing like neon stuff. Like I was like, why can't I be that cool,
you're so
man?
more mature than we did. It's like weird to me how
It's really weird.
yeah.
But it's also a real problem because I can't tell who's middle school and who's
very
high school.
So I just skipped the middle school part.
What would probably be your, I guess, like funniest or most like interesting anecdote from yearbook, aside from the kid with the polo shirt and the neon shorts?
I mean, there was that time at freshman orientation where someone told me to like F off.
Oh.
Like he like not F, like he said the whole word. And I'm not gonna say here because, you know.
Someone at freshman tailgate
Bleep
kept
off.
calling him fat.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, it was a freshman.
Did you give yourself up there?
Yeah, he said like, did you give yourself up over the summer? I was like,
Oh my God.
yeah.
That's not okay.
I mean, like the freshmen, they're different than the last couple of years. The last couple of years, that like the classes have been like really kept to themselves. They haven't really done much,
Mhm.
which isn't bad, you know.
Would
That's
you
like,
say it's like a product of, I guess, quarantine?
I don't know. Maybe they just didn't get that elementary school experience where, like, they never got that character development.
What grade did you miss?
Because if you think about it, for the last 2 years, they missed part of middle school, but this grade has had their entire middle school in person.
Well, that means they missed 6th grade, right?
I think 6th grade. That means also.
Wait, am I doing the math right?
You're, okay,
I don't know,
for
man.
your grade, yeah, you guys got entirely middle school. We didn't. We got half of middle school because for us
We didn't
quarantine.
even get half.
Quarantine started at like quarter four.
My
of,
grade, I
7th
had
grade.
like a corner of my 8th grade shaved off. It just started at the
for us-
Disneyland
For
trip.
us, it was corner of 7th grade. That's when we got shaved off.
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah. I have this running tradition of there's a band member in our grade, so junior,
Vanessa.
Joshua.
Josh. Okay, yeah. I know Josh.
Every time I see him, I will run up to him, hi Josh, and then start taking photos of his face, only his face, for like 30 seconds straight.
There's some random photo in my folder of like homecoming shots that I took, and it's just Joshua.
Joshua, it's always
like
Joshua.
it's this like really serious photo of like photo. She's just like standing there as like, and then like immediately following it is just Joshua like smiling like ear to ear, just like staring, just like looking at the camera, and then it just goes back to very serious photos of like marching band. Which I don't know. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Because that happens a lot. It'll just be like really, really like intense photos, like a 4-man dog pile in football.
Oh, yeah.
And then just like some random photo of like someone who's like trying to, I don't know, someone doing something dumb.
Yeah.
And then it's just back to like like someone who's like got injured on the field, like literally broke their ankle or
Right.
something.
And I think a lot of like the funny times that like occur in yearbook is actually inside the classroom.
Mhm.
Like a lot of times we actually browse through photos together, and then we just look at this guy's face when he's getting tackled, something like that, right?
Maybe you shouldn't tell people that.
Okay, well,
I mean,
Post later,
I
who
mean,
knows?
like, as long as it's all
Yeah.
like confidential. I
I mean, we
guess.
don't use them. If we ever
we're not gonna put it
like, if
in.
we look at a photo and we all start laughing, we know for a fact that photo is
Yeah.
not being used.
we still think for them it's like, okay, yeah, I'd be mad if my photo was like that and in the yearbook.
Yeah.
But then sometimes Maxwell, they're smiling really big, I like that, put it in, so we put it in.
Even if that picture might be seemed as like embarrassing.
Well,
I think what people don't understand is that what makes a good photo, like, because these are candid photos, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you don't get to choose what you look like, but it's like the emotion of the photo, like what you get from that, like what the photo tells is more important than what you look like. Like, yeah, sure, there's a couple of photos where maybe someone doesn't have like the prettiest smile or whatever, but also like you're comparing it to photos that you took of yourself, where it's like you staged everything and it's like this was in the moment, and this was like a very like important moment. So maybe it was like a football game and you didn't like how you looked when you got tackled, but or when you made this, like when you sacked the quarterback, right? But it's like it's not about what you looked like, it's about remembering that you did that thing. So it's like it may not be perfect, but it's like it's the emotion that shows, and that's what makes it a good photo.
yeah, and I think what is really important as well is like, sure, this photo might be embarrassing for you right now, but maybe, who knows, 5-10 years down the line when you're in high school, college, or past college, you're gonna find the yearbook one day while maybe packing. Oh,
Mhm.
cool, I'm gonna find myself in the yearbook. Oh, I look so embarrassing in this photo. What are they gonna do? They're gonna laugh about it because they're having fun. Remembering things going on that day. In the moment of high school.
I feel like also realistically is like when people are skimming through the yearbook, they're not gonna like stop at a page just like, whoa, this
Yeah.
person looks really bad. I'm gonna point and laugh at it.
I do that sometimes.
No.
Like with my friends, I'll look for friends.
Maybe just Carl.
Maybe just me. But I'll, like, if it's a really bad photo, I'll send them a photo. I'm like, this you?
Yeah, exactly. That's like the better part. You get to see your friends' embarrassing photos, take a photo, show it to them, and mock them.
Yeah, but also like I have embarrassing photos in the
Exactly.
yearbook. Like
Like last year, my 2 photos in the book, right? One as an ACD and one actually as an actual photo. And
dude, they don't
ACD
know what an
photo-
ACD is.
Yeah, okay. It's the like 3 small photos of someone's portrait on the side, right? They just came over, snapped a picture of me. They made me turn around, took a photo, and just left with it, and used it in the book.
Yeah,
It is
I
what
don't
it
know.
is.
It is what it is, yeah. Would you say like this year there's anything like different about, the pictures and the vibes you're getting from this school year, or like compared to last? Since I know like for the last couple of years there's been, quarantine, people wearing masks.
Is this the theme
Um,
drop?
I don't know.
Well, we'll save the theme drop for later. We're gonna do something different from last year. We're gonna do a commercial where we drop the yearbook theme, and there's something in the works. Don't worry, it's gonna be really good. We hope.
Can the viewers get a little hint?
Let's just say it's gonna be absolutely crazy. Let's just say that.
I
But-
guess, yeah.
Like, I don't know how many people are gonna view this, but anyways, so like the last couple of years, our books have been very philosophical.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's so much more to know, or it's like you and everything in between, or something like that, right? And it's like there's always a deeper meaning. And then this year we were like, why do we keep doing books that are so deep?
We want something fun. You know?
It's like it's not that deep, man. And so that was literally the only thing we talked about when we were coming up with this yearbook. So it's going to be more fun, and I don't think we can say anything else about it.
Can we
'Cause-
talk about the format of it? Since we have, we had like the Franklin format before.
I mean, like, I don't think people are gonna kind of like,
Yeah, they don't
because
really
you have
see
to
it, I
really
guess, yeah.
be into yearbook to
I think we
into
can talk about
yearbooks.
it then.
Because
So for the past couple of years, since all the books are so philosophical, we've been having what we call a Franklin format, which is all the spreads pretty much look like the same thing, just
And just different
placed,
fonts.
different fonts,
Mhm.
like something like that. So we're trying to break free of what we usually do. We're trying to see what other schools are doing to make their books spreads look more different, more unique.
that's a real difficult thing, because usually if you've looked at enough yearbooks, like we've looked at hundreds of yearbooks, it's crazy how many there are. Like you can usually tell which like what yearbook schools are from. Like there's this one school in Colorado that we really like.
Oh, yeah.
They have a really great book, but you can always tell it's them because they're always doing something funky with, like they always pick one color and then they stick to that one color and then they do weird like type stuff. So they'll do like layers of stuff and then they'll do cutouts of people every year and they'll use very similar fonts. And so it's like Franklin's fallen into that kind of thing where it's like we make everything so deep for no reason. Like we have a photo of this person eating just eating a chicken sandwich I took that photo. We have a photo of this person eating a chicken sandwich like at lunch. And then we made it this whole thing on the opening of our book where it's like, there's so much more to lunch or whatever, or there's so much more. And don't get me wrong, it was a great story. It was something we'd never done before. And then we did the same thing the next year. And we just realized we've been doing this like for the last 4 years since we started doing like this type of yearbook where it's like, there's a theme and all of this special stuff. It's been so deep. And so it's like we got characterized as it's like it's so deep. It's like there's so much more to know or some shit like that. So like, every year is the same thing.
So for this yearbook theme, it's new, different. Would you say that this theme is something that everyone in your book was like, yes, we should go with this, or has it been like changed?
God, no.
I think
no.
When we, because here's the thing.
Everyone's at each other's throats. No one likes each other in your book.
Yeah, we kind of fight a lot inside of yearbook. Half of the time, just Carl and I yelling at each other, and Max will have to intervene.
And it's usually about something dumb.
It's
like last week we like had this like this fonts. Really fonts like the size of it, and it was like by one size. So by it's like size. Should we have photo credits like size 11 or size 12? And it got really heated, and Mr. Maxwell told us that we had to stop. Yeah. And so, so it's like, if you're not yelling about it, if you're not really like getting heated about it, you're not really doing it right.
Yeah.
Like,
if you're not heated, you're just not passionate about it.
Exactly.
I'm not mad. I'm just passionate.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm just really, really excited about fonts. I just really love fonts and like colors, dude.
When this theme was like, because we create our themes actually at the end of the year after we're done with the book, right? So we actually tried whatever classes at term 4 try to start on the next theme, make templates, things like that, right? Ideas how it would work, and then we take those and we go to yearbook camp, which is at UOP, and then we have the other schools advisors look over it, to help us. We have professional artists there who help us, colorize things, right? And then we decide what theme we want finally. And then off of that, we create many things in the toolbox for us to use later on to the year. And we actually were really, really split on this topic for the theme this year.
I think half of the editors, halfway through the year, we were 2 weeks into the year, and they wanted to change the theme again, which is really bad because we were supposed to have everything finalized. Because like the schedule is very tight. If you don't get it done then, it's like there's going to be some repercussions. Like we can't get the book out before the year ends, or maybe it's going to cost extra for printing and shipping, or it's like some parts we have to do on our own. Like we have to put the book together ourselves, which is really bad. So everything has to be together. And then all of a sudden they just suggested that they were like, we should try a different theme. I'm like, we're 2 weeks into the year, right? We need to get all of this done yesterday.
I put too much blood, sweat, and tears into this just for you to say, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not quitting out back then. It's just not happening.
Yeah. I mean, it'll probably work out, hopefully.
Yeah. It seems like it is.
So the theme is like chosen during summer. Like way before the year starts.
We start, as soon as we wrap up the book of this year, we get started on the next year's book. So it's like when we finish putting it together in March and it's already like sent out to the printers, it's like, okay, well then it's like, we'll let them take care of that, and then we'll handle redistribution in like a month or two when we get them. And so for those 2 months, it's just like, okay, what is next year's yearbook going to be? Like, I think I've already started thinking about next year's yearbook.
Yeah, we have.
And I think we have a pretty solid
really good theme. I like what he came up with. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
So yearbook is kind of like a all year type of activity. Like after you finish this one, immediately in spring, you guys are already moving on to next year's project.
That's really only if you're an editor or if you're really, really into it.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually most people, they're just here for a term. They're here for like a year and then they're done. They don't come back. And then like, that's okay. Like yearbook is like that kind of thing where it's like, you don't have to stay with it for all 4 years. I kind of got roped in and then, I haven't been able to leave. It's like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah. And then he roped me in. So then I'm a part of the pyramid scheme now.
But it's like a good pyramid scheme.
Yeah. Join yearbook, guys. Don't worry.
You're really
Join yearbook today. Do you want to take photos? Do you like digital design? Well, you should join yearbook. And also you should buy your yearbook. I forgot to plug that in earlier. Please buy your yearbook. We need money.
Please. Chipotle ain't free.
So that's what the money's going towards.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. We have late nights.
I've actually heard of the Chipotle.
We don't know why. It's been going on for as long as I've been here.
Like, you want to explain to the viewers what that paradox is?
Yeah. So the thing is, we have these things every now and then, like on Fridays or something, or on Mondays, whenever we need. They're late nights. So you literally, Mr. Maxwell just stays in the room and you show up and you just do yearbook work until like 10 or 11 or whenever we want to leave. And so usually that means that we have to get dinner. And there's like a bunch of places around here, but for some reason, every single time without fail, it's always comes to the conclusion that we're getting Chipotle.
Can't decide on what we want. People want McDonald's, people want In-N-Out, things like that. And then somehow we all just agree on Chipotle eventually. It doesn't make sense, but somehow we just get to that point.
And it's not just us, because it's been happening long before.
Yeah.
Like it's since my freshman year when I went to my first like late night, because like he said that if you wanted to work on stuff and I needed to get a deadline done, like without fail, the first thing they went to was Chipotle. And like I asked them, why are we getting, like after like 4 or 5 of them, I asked, why do we keep getting Chipotle? And then the editors, the seniors of that year, they said, I don't know. We've been doing it since I was a freshman. So we've just been getting Chipotle for like God knows how many years now.
And we're not sponsored yet.
And like every year we're like, okay, we need to do something else, because our Chipotle order is like $80, like for just like 5 of 6 of us. And then like every time we're like, we need to try something else. And then the next time is just Chipotle again.
Yeah.
So it's like, we don't know what it is. It's just been this thing that we've been doing for years and no one knows why.
Well, I mean, everyone buy the yearbook. It's going towards great cameras and burritos for everyone.
Please. I need my steak. Okay. Please.
To answer the previous question of like, is that where funds go to? Actually, a lot of the funds actually go to making the next yearbook cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because before Maxwell actually became the yearbook advisor, the yearbook was like 100 something.
That's like 110.
Yeah, 110. And then he's been...
Don't quote us on that. We don't know.
It's something 100. But he's been lowering it every year. Every year that since Maxwell has been here, he's been lowering the price little by little, right? Making it more affordable for students. Yet people still whine to us like, oh, $70? I'm not buying that. Okay.
I actually think that's a really good price. And I'm like really impressed with Mr. Maxwell and like running his like yearbook business and trying to make it as like best as possible.
The price isn't really coming from... like the cost isn't really like coming from dropping the yearbook price. It's been like selling more yearbooks, because the more yearbooks we sell, the less it's gonna cost. So it's like if we buy this many yearbooks, we buy this many at the beginning of the year, and then we have to like sell them and we have to pay them back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have to print them and they have to ship them out and they have to do all this like special stuff if we want to put some special stuff in the yearbook, which we always do.
Mm-hmm.
And so the more yearbooks we sell, the less it's gonna cost. So it's like the last couple of years, I think last year we sold like 1,200 books.
Pretty sure we had like record last year, right?
Yeah, like 1,200 books, which is more than we've ever sold. And so like that's why last year's was like the cheapest it's ever been, because like it's like buying in bulk, right? It's like it's cheaper to do everything if you have bigger numbers. So the more people buy yearbooks, the less it's gonna cost. So please buy your yearbook if you want it cheaper. Like, I'm not lying to you, okay? This is way too elaborate. Please buy your yearbook. I'm desperate. I need my Chipotle.
A $70 book, right? They whine about it. It's the same thickness as a history textbook, which are, probably more expensive if anything. And yet this just isn't good enough for them to buy.
Yeah.
It's the memories.
Yeah.
That's priceless.
That's really that's some Disney.
Are we gonna promote the middle school
A little
book deal?
cliche, but it's a little.
I don't know if we can do this. I think we're already out.
Are we out? I swear there's like still like 2 boxes.
I don't
We're
know.
out of one year's book.
I don't know if we still have. I think we're out of a certain year, but
Yeah.
if people are still interested, if you buy your yearbook now, you can go into the yearbook room and pick out a middle school yearbook from the couple years. And I think we ran out of which one?
I think
I don't
it was
remember.
the seniors 8th grade or something like that.
I think we ran out of the seniors'
Yeah.
8th grade year, but there's other ones there. I don't know which ones we have. We got them in a big box, and I don't know. So please, if you want a middle school yearbook, if you just want one, just to have one,
Yeah.
2 books for the price of one.
Along with advice for viewers, to buy the yearbook. What do you have advice for people interested in joining yearbook, but they're intimidated by how, I guess, laborious it seems?
If they're worried that it's like really difficult and that you need all of this prior experience to being in it, don't. I don't really know what I'm doing here, to be honest with you guys. I don't really know anything about anything. Like photography. Hadn't picked up a camera until I was in yearbook. Even though my parents and my uncles and all my godparents, they're all photography. They all do they've been doing it since long before I was born, and so it's like a family thing. I've never touched a camera before in my life. And like computer stuff, like digital design, I didn't even know what a computer was until middle school, and I didn't know how to use one. And so it's like, you don't need to know anything to join yearbook. You learn all of that stuff as you go. And honestly, that's like the best experience you're ever going to get, because you're actually out there promoting the yearbook. So if you want to do stuff that's like business or something, like you want to learn how to do like editorials, or if you want to like do journalism, or if you want to do photography, or basically like a wide range of things. If you want to do anything like that, or if you just want to like get an experience of what it's like to be in like a business, join yearbook, because that's better than any class you'll ever take.
It's as Carl really said, you kind of learn as you go, because unlike him, I really didn't come from a photography background. Never, ever used a camera before.
I never used a camera.
Yeah,
before.
exactly. But I think, I joined yearbook. I'm not gonna lie. It was because freshman year, I wasn't in yearbook. Carl was, and he was, taking photos of a lot of things, like football games, like things like that. And I'll see him, and then he always whines to me about like how it's so lonely down there, how he has no friends in yearbook. So I felt bad, and that was like part
Are
of
you
it.
gonna
That
let
was-
that-
yes,
are you gonna
that's
take
what
that
I tell
as
people.
fact?
That's literally what I told people.
That is what you tell people. That is
That's
not
what
what
that is.
happened.
You literally told me you don't have friends.
Me personally, I wouldn't take that.
Do something about it.
We'll do something about it after the podcast.
yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
I know where you live. Anyways, but yeah,
I know where you live. Okay.
joining yearbook.
This is probably what happens in the yearbook
it
room,
is.
probably.
It's a more family friendly version of what happens in the yearbook room.
Anyways, so in the yearbook, I forgot what I was gonna say. Give me a second.
You're talking about Carl being lonely and how you joined
Yes,
yearbook.
Carl joined.
That is not what happened,
Okay,
and you will
whatever you
figure
say.
this out.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, I know where you live.
I know your parents. Got anything? Yeah. Stay quiet.
I know you got a Lamborghini in your front.
Not anymore.
You don't?
No, this wasn't mine.
That's not yours. Is it?
You have a
Anyways,
Lamborghini?
No, not mine. It's not mine. Oh my god, it's not mine.
He just sent me a text one day out of the blue. It was like at night, and he was like, "Hey, check this out!" And he sends a picture of a Lamborghini Urus in his like front in his like driveway.
In Elk Grove, just like in
just-
a random...
okay,
in the driveway.
People don't understand. Elk Grove is like one of the richest parts of like NorCal.
Actually, I have seen a Lamborghini like going
They're
to
not that
Target one day, and I
Also,
was like,
wait, there's
what?
some guy here who has a i8. That's like a really expensive car.
No.
has
It's
a
like
BMW
it's like 70,000.
70,000. That's still a lot for
That's
a
still-
car.
that's
Still
still
a
Who
lot.
drives that
I
to
guess,
school? It's like
somewhat.
parked in the parking lot. Who drives that to school like that?
I don't know. It's
We
BMW
do
's a
we
10
do
of a
live at a
supercar.
school where people like drive Teslas as if it's like a Honda Civic.
Yeah. Okay, but here's the thing. They are becoming the new Honda Civic. Like Tesla used to be cool, and then they started
What are you
deteriorating
talking
as
about?
more and more
This
people
is
more and
so
more people started
elitist.
buying Teslas, right? Their prices lowering by the day. Okay.
I just don't like
Everyone
Tesla.
has a Tesla. I hate them. They're not that good. They break so easily. They're not the best cars out there. There's so many other EVs out there better than Tesla, but people just default to Tesla because my neighbor has Tesla, so I must have a Tesla so I can compete with them. Or, makes them feel like they're in a higher tax bracket or something like that.
I just don't like Teslas because I think they look ugly.
Yeah.
I don't care that they're EVs or not. I know a lot of people are gonna say it's like I hate EVs. It's like gas power. It's like who cares about the environment?
Hybrid
It's like,
is the future.
I like burning fossil fuels. I don't really care about that. I just don't think it looks cool.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's pretty much it. I don't know. There's not more. There's
Back to the Lamborghini.
Oh yeah,
What
back to
is
the
up with
Lamborghini
that?
thing.
Listen, that's not even like the best thing I've ever had in my driveway.
You had a McLaren
I had
one
a
time.
McLaren 720S.
He sent me a photo. He was just like, yeah,
It
here.
was the first car I've ever driven.
Check this
Check
out.
this
And then he
out.
sent me a photo at like 10 at night, and I was like, "Why do you have a McLaren in your
was nice.
driveway?" And he sends me a photo of him driving it, and I was like,
Put that in the yearbook,
Put that-
actually.
"I don't
Put
even."
that in
I
there.
was like, "I'm not even allowed to drive the Prius, and you're out here driving like McLarens and like what?"
And then I say for like cars on my driveway, or it was on my driveway, I'd rank them from McLaren 720S
He's like, I got a
to-
Bugatti McLaren.
to okay.
Naming
The
every
second
car.
best, Aston Martin DBS.
What? I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, no, I showed you the photo. I showed you.
Did you?
DB or DBS? I don't remember. But yeah, and then the Urus. That's about it. What were we talking about before the car?
Advice for people. in
Right.
your
Right,
life.
yeah.
we're no masters of design. We don't really. A lot of us don't come from backgrounds of anything that has relates to the yearbook, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of we kind of learn it as it goes. We have a specific format. The first ever spread you'll ever work on as a new staff member in yearbook, there will be a previous yearbook member there to guide you through the way, right?
Through the way. What
Through
is
the way.
the
I don't know, through the
Mandalorian?
steps.
This is the way.
English is my second language. Okay.
I can tell.
Okay.
You guys should, beef it out tomorrow in the yearbook room. And then,
You know what we'll
Take
do?
pictures
We'll
and
do a
put it in the
fundraiser. We'll host like a boxing match, like Logan Paul or Jake Paul, and then it's like all the proceeds go to starving yearbook editors, and we'll advertise the yearbook. We'll put a boxing ring in the middle of the quad. We'll make it happen if the viewers want it.
Right. Yearbook, we kind of a lot of times you're kind of just doing your own thing, right? Maxwell gives you he gives you the goal that you're supposed to complete by, a week or two. And then you kind of start working towards that. Along the way, people, we get off track. We do other things for fun. Things like really, really just stupid things. Last time I remember we put a box on a few of our heads and started going outside, spinning each other around until we lost our direction and having them walk back to the classroom.
Yeah,
Things like that.
We got into. I think we wanted to buy a Danny DeVito cutout.
Oh, yeah, we still.
I think we're still talking
still
about that,
have
right?
on
We're
that.
thinking about that one or last year's editor. We were gonna get a cutout of last year's editor. Shout out Evan Chow. We were gonna get a cutout of him,
Life size.
life size cutout, just to put it in the yearbook room. But
I feel like the best classrooms have like weird cutouts of
Oh yeah.
people.
oh,
I,
yeah.
I think like in one of the classrooms, there's like one of Justin Timberlake, but I could be wrong.
Lamone's room.
Miss
Yeah.
Lamone's room, yeah. I was there for AP Human.
Yeah, exactly.
It was really random
Only
because that was the
class at
first thing I noticed.
I'm just saying the best classrooms have random cutouts. So I
Well-
think you guys should really invest in like a
We
Evan
should.
Chow.
Because
We should.
Life size
Maxwell
cutout.
agreed to us putting whatever we want on the walls as long as school appropriate. So I really want to go to like Hobby Lobby, like a man cave sign, just put on the wall, things like that.
I want to get a poster that says like "Welcome to the Mojo Dojo Casa." House.
exactly.
I wanted to
Things like
get
that.
one after. I was like, "That's amazing." I want to.
Dude, I wanted our yearbook shirt to be in like motto after like I'm Knuff shirt, something like that.
I am.
But
Knuff.
then the idea got voided by Maxwell.
I mean, like he said that about a lot of things. Wasn't our first idea to put like a rat on the front of the shirt? And it's like, and just say crazy question mark, and then just put buy your yearbook on the sleeve. Wasn't that the first one? we
Yeah.
put? Yeah, we're not really good at staying on task,
No,
but
not
you know,
really.
it's fine. We get the book out on time,
yearbook
so
is-
it all works out.
it's a really nice environment to be in. You kind of just it's like a
I
place
don't
where
know about nice, but
it's already de-stress. All right, you
I
kind of don't
don't-
have to really worry about much as long as you're getting your things done.
yeah,
It's
I don't
good
know
enough.
about nice though.
Hey, you guys got homecoming photos?
I feel like the thing about like people sending in pictures is that oftentimes everyone has like different cameras. So maybe like one person's phone might have like different quality, and also a lot of people like taking 0.5 photos.
That's fine.
I don't know.
That's fine.
Oh, you guys like that?
We're okay with it. We just
Yeah.
can't use it for every, because like the thing with 0.5 is that like what most people end up doing is they end up doing silly photos, and so we
Yeah.
can't use it on every page. But there's not anything wrong with 0.5 by
Mhm.
itself.
Mhm.
I shoot 0.5. Well, like the camera equivalent of 0.5, which I think is like, if you know anything about focal length, they shoot like 18 millimeters sometimes because it's like really wide and you can get a lot out of it. So there's nothing wrong with that.
And we do take submissions for photos for certain spreads, like the summer spread. You know, you became a victim this year, I guess.
Yeah.
I have a funny story with that. My friend was like, "Hey, can you send some pictures for like summer?" And I just sent some of them just, for funsies. I wasn't really expecting any of them to get chosen just
Right.
because I feel like yearbook is like very peculiar, and I didn't feel like any pictures that I took, were that great. And then my friend just kept bugging me about it. And then she was like, "Funny story, Mr. Maxwell actually really likes that picture." And then I got like interviewed about it.
Yeah.
So
Didn't you like ask me when I told you about it the first time? No? Okay.
Yeah, I think that. Oh, also, if anybody is listening, we are doing a page for the homecoming dance, which is something we haven't done before, and we need student submissions. There we go. I cannot speak.
and
But
you call yourself a debate champ.
look, okay, it
Ooh.
doesn't matter, all right, because all I do is just yell "nuh" at them, and I win.
This is why you lost to me in our first round of speech.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You had less score than me. I was second place. You were
You're second place. Well, then,
you were fourth.
that was not fair. Okay, and we both know that I place first more often than you. Okay, we both know that for a fact. Okay, but also if you guys have any photos from the homecoming dance, or if you have any interesting stories, please submit it to Mr. Maxwell. Just shoot him an email on Synergy, and that would be greatly appreciated because we've never done this before, and we would really like for it to not be bad.
Yeah, and on that, if you have like any like really interesting stories that you really want to document in your book, we can probably write about that too in the like the mug sections, things like that, right? We can, since before we've written about like students like developing a hobby for cooking, things like that, right? We can, if you guys have anything of interest you want to put into your book, we can possibly put that in as well.
Yeah. Speaking of student submissions, I got really good really good story ideas from students, which was, I was like, wow, it's like, how come no one, like, I was like, what? It was like 10. I don't know why all of my stories are like late at night, but I was like about to go to bed, and then someone sends me a text, and then they were like, because I sent out a bunch of blast text messages about like, hey, speech meeting tomorrow, and then someone responds back, and they were like, you know what'd be a good story for a yearbook is like whether people think the abbreviation for Franklin High School should be FHS or FRHS. And we do a whole story about that, and I was like, first off, how does this person know that I'm in yearbook?
Who was
like,
it? Do you know?
No, I don't know who this is.
Amazing.
They like, I don't know if they have my number saved. I don't know. They just sent this email. They just sent this text, and they just knew I was in yearbook. And then second off, they just sent this like late at night. Like, I don't know if they were like out of it, or if they were like a little tipsy turny, because like they just sent it out of nowhere, and like half of the things were misspelled, or like there were some things misspelled, and I don't know what happened about it. It was the most random thing ever, and I just never questioned it. I pitched it to some of the editors, and they all really liked it. So I guess we're doing that now.
Yeah.
So please, there's some, if you have like any idea, no matter how dumb it is, please submit it, because we like doing dumb stuff. We like putting stuff in that's funny and wacky.
Do we still want to do the doodles?
I think we're not doing the doodles
Okay.
anymore.
Tragic. And yeah, buy the yearbook, join the yearbook. It's really fun. It's really good on college resumes because yearbook teaches you photography, teaches you sales because you're making a product that are sold to people all throughout the school, and it teaches you how to do journalism and writing.
Yeah. And if you don't really like photography, there's more to yearbook than just photography.
Yeah.
That's just the part that everyone sees.
Not everyone has to fulfill. There's no requirement you really have to fulfill to take photos. It's like, once in a while he'll have you like, it's been a while since you take a photo. We're taking photos, right? I want you to sign up for something. Things like that.
Any final sentiments?
Nope. Just buy your yearbook, please.
Yeah.
All right.
I cannot stress that enough.
Buy
Thank you.
yearbook. I
Thank
am
you.
not rich. Do not rob me.
Yes, guys, please, please, please go purchase your yearbook so you can supply their Chipotle orders. And that wraps up this episode. Thank you, per usual, to our producers, Joseph and advisor, Ms. Toyama, for making these episodes happen. Let us know any suggestions, and we'll see you next time. Peace out, Wildcats.
Make it a great day, Wildcats.
Bye.
Okay.